Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back to some more reviews, and welcome back to the Evil Dead reviews. And today we're talking about the third film in the Evil Dead series, and that of course is Army of Darkness. Now, like I said, the Army of Darkness is the third film in the Evil Dead series, and I've had this particular edition for a minute now. I think I had this DVD back when I first started my channel. Screwhead Edition, it's not really... It's called an edition, but I don't really know why it's considered a special edition, because there's no commentary, there's no documentaries, there's one featurette, which is about the making of the visual and special effects, and then there's the alternate ending, which I didn't see that ending yet, but I believe that's the ending where it's a post-apocalyptic world and the Deadites have won, and I know that's the preferred ending by the filmmakers, but I don't mind the S-Smart ending. I think that's a pretty fun ending to the movie. You know, Hell to the King, baby. But, yeah, Army of Darkness is a 1992 film that gets a 7.5 on IMDb by Sam Raimi once again. Now, Army of Darkness is the one in the series that is probably most people's least favorite. At least most of the reviews I've seen and heard, people would go, yeah, I enjoy it, but not as much as the others. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a fun, really entertaining film. It's funny, it's humorous, it's also got some good action in there. I think that Bruce Campbell is a great lead. And I like this version of Ash. I do. I like this version of Ash where he's cracking jokes, saying one-liners, being cocky. And it's a very different Ash from the first two movies. I mean, the first movie, he's literally just a normal guy. Second movie, he has the part where he fights the demons, but he's not really cracking jokes or anything like that. He's still kind of a normal dude. And then it seemed like after this movie, Ash became this superhero level icon where, he's got the chainsaw or the metal hand and the shotgun. He's cracking jokes and stuff like that. And I like both versions of Ash, the more serious version, the more comedic version. I like both versions, and I think Bruce Campbell really does a fantastic job playing Ash in this movie. Once again, very different performance, but I think it's a really well done performance. I think it's really entertaining, and entertaining is a word that I can use to describe why I enjoy this movie so much. It's very entertaining, very funny. It's an hour and 21 minutes, so it goes by in a flash. Very fast-paced movie. And I love just the different tone of this movie, and it's the reason why I love the Evil Dead series so much. If I absolutely had to rank them in the original series, this is probably in last place. It's probably my third favorite. But I love all three movies to death. I watch all three of them back to back to back. And then I usually watch the remake as well, because I also enjoy that remake a lot. But I watch all three movies back to back, and I think they're all three great films that have a lot to offer as a trilogy. And I think it's a really awesome trilogy. And, one of the reasons I do enjoy the trilogy so much is because of just how different every film is from another. The first movie is a really serious horror film with a little bit of odd humor in there, throughout the movie. Bits of humor. Evil Dead 2 is a horror comedy, and then Army of Darkness is straight up a adventure comedy action film. And I would honestly, I do have a few gripes with the movie, obviously, but one of the few gripes I have is, obviously, I do wish there was a little bit more horror in this film. I think there was a much more emphasis on action and the fantasy elements and just the idea of going back in time, and much more about the action, the comedy. I would have preferred more scary stuff in this movie, but honestly, I still love the movie for what it is. And the story is very cool. You have Ash, of course, the ending of Evil Dead 2. He gets put in that portal, goes back to the Middle Ages, 1300 AD. And he's sent back in time. The people there don't like him. They throw him down this pit, and he has to fight this pit monster, Deadite, which is a pretty cool scene. Gets out of there, and there's that classic, just one of my favorite scenes of all time, where he's telling the people, all right, who wants some? Huh? You want a little? You want a little? I love that scene, and of course, like the classic line, this is my boomstick. That whole scene is just well directed, well acted, and I like how he frees the Henry character. He frees him, and so that later him and his army can come back to help out them to fight the Army of Darkness. But I like that scene. That scene's so classic, and basically Ash is the chosen one, and he has to try and help these people stop the evil. That rhymed. Didn't mean it to. He's gotta help them stop the Deadites, and he forgets the words to the book, and ends up summoning the Army of Darkness, and he has to try to help this little castle area fight off an entire army of skeletons and Deadites and demons and stuff like that. Very, very classic story. I really do enjoy this movie, and I guess I get into the positives and negatives real quick. The positives, I think Bruce Campbell is a great lead. I think his acting in this movie is really well done. He's really entertaining. He's witty. Showed more of a humorous, more badass side to Ash. I liked his performance in this movie, so I think Bruce Campbell does a great job in this film. The rest of the cast is pretty decent. The guy who played, I don't know if he's really the king of this area, maybe the king of this, I'd say maybe the king of this sort of military that's there. I like his character. The love interest was alright. The rest of the cast was pretty alright. It did pretty decent acting from them. The atmosphere. I think this movie is once again very well shot by Sam Raimi. The camera angles, the POV of the evil force, the just way the set design is and stuff like that. I think the atmosphere and set design and just overall the way the movie looks, I think it looks really good. Special effects are on point. Yeah, practical effects by KMB. You also have a lot of visual effects look great. Stop motion animation. Using a lot of stop motion animation, green screens, but also at the same time utilizing practical effects. And that's a good balance, because when you do that in a film, it's like Evil Dead 2. It has the special effects, digital effects, but it also has the practical effects. And when you use both like that, it really makes a magical world, and you can do so much with the characters and these different villains in the movie. And I like the just creativity of the movie. It just has a cool idea of the Army of Darkness, this ancient army that's been summoned by Ash by accident. And he has to fight evil Ash, I'm bad Ash. You're good Ash. You're a good little two shoes. Good, bad, I'm the guy at the gun. And I guess I can also say there's some good writing in this movie. The one-liners are memorable. The dialogue from Bruce Campbell's character is all memorable, all quotable. Don't trust it. Get an axe. There's still Evil Dead stuff in this movie, and I can appreciate that. They were trying to go for something different, but at the same time, there is a little bit of Evil Dead in there. There is a little bit of that classic Evil Dead stuff in there. This woman gets possessed by a demon, and she becomes a Deadite, and she's causing mayhem, and she's about to pour this boiling hot pot on this dude, and Ash shoots the pot. Hey, she-bitch, come get some. I love that scene. Or really, I love also the sequence where he goes to this windmill, and there's these miniature ashes running around just causing mayhem. And, basically it ends up being he has an eyeball poke out of his shoulder, and it leads to the evil Ash. I think that was just such a cool, kind of creepy scene, honestly. I love the scene. It's a little tongue-in-cheek. It's a little over the top, but I think it's funny and hilarious where he's in the graveyard and he has 3 books. Wait a minute. I thought there was going to be just 1 book. But there's all kinds of books, and he opens every one of them. One bites his hand, one sucks him into the book, and he gets out of it and has a stretched face. And he has to kind of do this, and his head goes back to normal. That's really over the top of the humor. It's very over the top, but I think it's still hilarious. And I love the action as well. The action scenes where he's, fighting the evil Ash, and how there's an invasion on this castle, and how the Henry character comes back and saves them, joins them in the fight. The ending of the S-Mart ending, I think, is a pretty cool ending. Again, that's not really the preferred ending by the filmmakers, but the ending I thought was pretty fun. Although I'm not really sure how there is still, evil. Like, how is there still Deadites? Because he stopped the Deadites in the past, which means there's no more Deadites in the future, but yet there's a Deadite. I really don't get that I really don't understand that ending. Maybe it's just like different timelines. I'm not sure. But I was always wondering, like, okay, so how is there still Deadites then? If he stopped them and set the right passages and, defeat the army of darkness, how is there Deadites still? But I guess again to the problems, not really any big problems, little flaws here and there. There needed to be more chainsaw in this movie. He uses a chainsaw like twice, I think. One to chop up the evil Ash, and the other one to fight the pit Deadite. And I think that's it for the chainsaw. And they put the chainsaw all over the posters. It's a big part of the character is the chainsaw hand, and there need to be more of that in this movie. He uses a metal hand, which I think is a cool idea of the metal hand. But the chainsaw hand is iconic, and it really wasn't used too much in this movie, which is very surprising. There are certain scenes where, and this is just like a little nitpick, but I did notice it was really obvious, where Ash has a double-barrel shotgun, and he's shooting like 4 or 5 rounds, and without even reloading his gun. And I get it, it's like, come on, it's Evil Dead, it's Army of Darkness, it's silly, it's over the top, why do you even care? It's not even really a problem. It's just something that I kind of chuckled at. I was like, man, he's just fired like 10 rounds with that double barrel. It must be like the freaking most advanced double barrel of all time. But that was just pretty funny to me. The humor, it can get pretty goofy at times. Like, I remember I was sitting at a friend's house and I popped this movie in. We were all watching, like, man, this is a really goofy movie. And I was like, yeah. So sometimes the humor can get... If you like really goofy slapstick humor, you'll love this movie. If you're not a fan of like slapstick humor, really over-the-top humor, it may not be for you. But for me, I found it to be very entertaining. And, I found it to be a good aspect of the movie. If there's any other problems... I can't really think of any other problems. That's about it. But the movie was really awesome. I enjoyed the music to the film, the score, fast-paced movie. I like how it's not a downbeat ending. How Ash finally did get the girl and, defeat the Deadites and stuff like that. It's different because, like, in every other Evil Dead movie, it's either a really downbeat ending or it's to be continued. And the only other time that I can think of it being a really peaceful ending is when it was the remake, because the chick survived. But even the TV show, the way that show ends, I remember it being a very downbeat ending. Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, so it's like good that in this movie finally Ash, got the girl, held to the king baby, had the good ending, had the good ending with the girl. But I like how, it's finally a good ending to the trilogy. And, it really does make the trilogy end and bring the story full circle. But yeah, Army of Darkness is a great film. I'm going to give it probably a 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10. I really do enjoy this movie. I find it to be really entertaining and fun and fast-paced and just iconic. I really do love this movie. But anyways, guys, I'm going to give it probably a 9.5 out of 10. What would you guys rate it? If you've seen Army of Darkness, let me know your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments below. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. The Explorer 4 is out. And, yeah. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.